When we say white people are always presumed innocent, this is what we mean.
You really felt like, you just really didn't have a choice in seeing what they were doing to him and nobody stopping it.
Because that 16-year-old girl ran on a football field and assaulted a 13-year-old black football player.
Because her brother was getting manhandled. And because she was mad.
And instead of the news reaching out to the black kid that was assaulted, traumatized, embarrassed on the football field doing nothing wrong, they give the assaulter a softball interview and try to make her look as innocent as possible, which would never happen to a black person.
The fact that the perpetrator is being interviewed instead of the victim already shows you the framing of this story. Hearing that this is a fantastic girl from a great family, that serves to change how you look at this 16-year-old girl.
But I'm Jude. Welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
A 16-year-old girl runs onto a football field and assaults a 13-year-old football player because her brother was getting manhandled. And because she was mad because her brother's team was getting a butt kicked 35-0. Notice how she's able to walk right off the field and nobody touches the
She literally bulldozed that boy, like assaulted him. Nobody even grabbed her. She was able to do whatever she wanted and just walk off the field, the audacity of it all. And you know it would be all over the news if that 13-year-old boy got up and defended himself. Then he would be in the wrong. Then he would be criminalized. Or if his sister or mother ran on the field and defended him, it would be a problem. But it's not a problem because she's doing it, a white girl.
Notice how she's able to walk right off the field and nobody touches the 16-year-old high schooler that just assaulted a middle schooler.
Okay, at least this coach, clearly he's black. I don't know if he's a head coach, assistant coach, or what, but he is making a fuss about it, but he seems like the only person.
I'm wondering why that black coach got a flag for being upset. That's very odd to me.
They gave this man a flag. They gave the black coach a flag while this girl's just walking off the field. They gave him a flag for being mad that his player got assaulted by somebody that ran down from the stands and just walked off the field, and he got penalized for it. Come on, man.
Now the media trying to make all these excuses for a 16-year-old high schooler that ran on the field and assaulted a middle school kid. News media outlets are interviewing the attacker and not the victim.
We really do see that so much where something will happen and instead of the black person being talked to or interviewed, they go directly to the white person as if they're the victim. That actually happened to me before in real life. I got in a car accident some years ago. I got rear-ended by a white woman and I ended up hitting another car who ended up hitting another car. It was a big issue on the highway. When the state troopers finally came out, I tried to talk to them. They completely ignored me. They talked to the white lady first, who then tried to blame the accident on me. And it wasn't until they talked to another couple that was involved in the accident that they got the real story and then came around to try to talk to me. By that point, I just requested the supervisor because I'm not going to talk to you about anything when you didn't want to talk to me in the first place.
Don't that seem kind of odd to y'all? Just know that if this was a black girl that ran onto a football field and assaulted a white kid, they would not be interviewing the black girl to make her look innocent.
What? She would have left in handcuffs. She wouldn't have made it off that field without being apprehended by authorities. I guarantee you, she wouldn't have just been able to walk off as slow and casual as she wanted off the field, past cheerleaders, back to her seat and sit calmly like nothing happened.
Listen to these lame excuses.
I was not just going after this kid just to go after him, because that was not my intention at all.
Addison says she was watching her brother get
So
targeted.
that video you saw is wild, but now listen to the interview that came out.
I'm seeing my son on the ground being attacked. This wasn't just a football play. This was him on the ground being physically attacked by this other player.
The fact that the perpetrator is being interviewed instead of the victim already shows you the framing of this story. But now listen to the words that you hear off the top.
1 minute clip. That's not what this story is about. It's about the other 20 minutes of this game and about what was going on this field, which prompted an otherwise fantastic little girl from a great family to enter onto that field.
So even though you're seeing that video, you're hearing that this is a fantastic girl from a great family. That serves to change how you look at this 16-year-old girl.
Exactly. They want to paint her in the best light possible to make her look like a great person. She's not the problem. This other person was a problem, and maybe he didn't come from a great background. All of the little dog whistles, all of it.
And this is one way that traditional news media upholds white supremacy, because they are centering the story of this white perpetrator while essentially ignoring the black victim in this case.
It's just, I was very angry. And so that kind of, when I get angry, it kind of blinds, like my brain goes blank. when it comes to like what I'm about to do.
Isn't that the stereotype that they say about black people? We have short tempers, hyper violent, can't think straight, are impulsive, all of those things which she's admitting to, but because she's a white girl who then put on her glasses and nice dress, she looks like an American sweetheart, so they're trying to gain as much sympathy as possible.
I remember doing it, and I know that I did it.
There is no excuse for running onto a football field and attacking a football player.
None.
How she gonna say she blacked out, but in the same sentence say she knew what she was doing?
But at that moment in time, it was kind of just like I didn't really know what I was doing until I did it.
I hate it when parents don't teach their children accountability. Watch how the mom coerces her and tries to make it like it's not her fault. This shit is sick.
You really felt like, you just really didn't have a choice in seeing what they were doing to him and nobody stopping it. That kind of made me like the last choice of, okay, somebody has to stop this.
What they were doing to him, it was a football game, and that black player was in their huddle, I think, minding his business. It's not like he was kicking the other player while he was down or he was on top of him. Her brother was in no immediate harm or danger. It was 100% the end of a play, and that player wasn't even next to another player. Even if she was in fear for her brother, there was no immediate need for her to do anything because they weren't anywhere near her brother, which I'm not even giving her that excuse. It's a football game. That man's life wasn't in danger. And this mother is a piece of shit too. I don't hear any sympathy for the 13-year-old boy that she assaulted. I don't hear any sympathy from either one of them. They're trying to act like the victims, which they always do.
This is that Karen mentality. This is that self-entitled bullshit. It's a damn football game. That's what football players do. Hit each other. Who in the hell do you think you are? You can't just run onto a football field and attack a football player because your brother is weak. There's literally no excuse for what she did. But what are they doing? Making excuses for her. No accountability. But honestly, why do y'all think they are interviewing the attacker and not the victim? A 13-year-old boy was assaulted. Why he not getting an interview? It's
Right.
because they trying to paint the 13-year-old as a villain, when in actuality, this 16-year-old girl is the actual villain. She's the one that committed assault. She's the one that ran onto a football field because she couldn't control her emotions. She's the one that was charged. So she's the one that should be held accountable. All these lame excuses is bullshit.
Why the F is she being interviewed as if she's the victim because she's white?
You have to ask if race were switched in this situation, whether the story would be told the same, whether a black 16-year-old girl would have a whole news piece essentially rehabilitating her image after running out onto a field and tackling a kid reportedly 3 years younger than her.
Absolutely not. That's easy. And this is a statement from the father. This is my child. To the people trying to capitalize off this video, make jokes to justify what happened to him, it's not funny. I was at the game. I greeted my son afterward, and even in that moment, his first response was, "She better be glad she's a girl." That alone says a lot about his character. He had every reason to be angry, yet he still showed restraint. My son is a true gentleman, and he did not deserve to be tackled, pushed, or humiliated on the field. He is a 13-year-old child, and I will always stand up for him and protect him. You are entitled to your opinions, but there's a difference between having an opinion and being cruel. The hateful comments, racial remarks, jokes, and attempts to justify someone putting their hands on my child are completely unacceptable. So please watch what you say. There's a real child and a real family and a village behind that viral video. Have some compassion and respect. Don't beg these people for compassion or respect. Anytime anything is posted on social media, racists just flood in the comments. Even if it has nothing to do with them, even if they're in the wrong, even if it's a racist incident that happened, racists come out and defend it with racism. I saw that myself when I posted a reel on Instagram about the Japanese streamer Nanadi, who went on a racist rant, called another black streamer the N-word with like her full chest.
Whoa, what the? Nana, chill, Nana. What the are you?
And there are over 1,300 comments on this one reel with so many people agreeing with her, being racist themselves, just doubling down. It's crazy. I like her, my queen. And I saw a lot of this comment too. I'm so confused why black people would be so upset at how they're being treated by Asians. Y'all be the reason the Stop Asian Hate bill, I guess he's saying, happened. No, black people aren't the reason for that. It was actually white people assaulting Asians during the pandemic, which the stats showed. However, black people are getting the blame for it somehow. I don't care. A girl did good. W Japanese woman, black fatigue. Man, they can all kick rocks.
I remember doing it, and I know that I did it.
And she is facing charges, I think, of assault and something else, but you already know how that goes in this system. Whites are always presumed innocent, always. At the end of the day, we know what it is. Society always views black people in the worst light possible. And even when white people do something violent or crazy, they still try to paint them as positive or misunderstood. It really is just the same old story. But thanks for watching. Y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.